The Conscientious Cop, written by Shri S.S. Seth, published in the year 2015. The three teen-aged girls, all students of class 8 of the most prestigious school of the city, are great friends. They belong to different sections of the class but make it a point to meet every day at least once and discuss the plans for their next joint adventure. They all are from middle class families. Their fathers are employed in the local steel plant where they keep busy till late in the evenings, and the moms, being housemakers, too are routinely engaged in their household chores for long hours. Since the parents have little time for the children, the kids have to look for entertainment in the company of their friends and spend their free time in planning and executing new activities. This time they planned to bunk their classes for the whole day and spend some quality time at the newly inaugurated city mall. Not that they had never visited the mall, but the earlier visits were of a fleeting nature when they had gone there in the company of their parents or relatives for buying some utility goods. The glitzy high class ambience, great variety of wares displayed in captivating show windows, the challenges of the gaming zone, and many nooks and corners of the huge complex yet to be explored left them itching for independent perambulation free of parental supervision. The only way to achieve this objective in their reckoning was to miss the classes for full day and return to the school well in time for the homeward journey so that nobody could be wiser to their escapade. When the school bus slowed down at the entrance gate of the school, before turning in, both Geeta and Smita jumped off the moving vehicle and walked away to a secluded spot, waiting for their third co conspirator, Sudha, to show up. After about 10 minutes, Sudha's father dropped her at the school gate, reversed his two-wheeler and drove away without looking back. The three friends casually ambled to the parking lot and zeroed down to the parked scooter of Geeta's elder sister, who had reported to the school 1 hour earlier to attend an extra class. Geeta retrieved the duplicate key of the scooter from her school bag, unlocked the machine, mounted the driver's seat, and asked her friends to share the pillion seat. They all heaved a combined sigh of relief when the scooter started and the trio quickly drove away from the school. As planned, they parked the machine in a secluded spot for changing over their school dress to casuals. But Sudha felt too shy undressing under the open sky and decided to change over later leisurely in the privacy of the women's washroom of the city mall. The journey up to the main crossing of the national highway was quite smooth and eventless. But an unexpected development caught them unawares while they were waiting for the traffic light to change for their onward journey. A uniformed policeman asked Geeta to take her vehicle to the roadside where a posse of policemen led by an assistant sub inspector was busy carrying out a routine check of all passing motor vehicles. With his left hand, the ASI lifted his steel rimmed glasses, which had slid down his nose back to their allotted place, and looked at the three girls casually. He asked Geeta in a matter of fact manner to show him her driving license. Geeta had none, and she said so. This made the policeman assume a serious stance, and he said rather gruffly, "So, what made three of you ride this vehicle and that too without crash helmets? You know that I can book you right away on three counts of traffic rules violation and also confiscate your scooter." Now, Smita, who was the de facto leader of the pack, took command of the situation and putting Sudha in the front explained, "You see, sir, this girl is my younger sister. She suddenly fell sick in the school and telephoned home for help. I called my friend Geeta, who has this scooter, and we rushed to the school to take the sick child to the doctor. In the hurry, Geeta forgot to pick up her driving license. We are on way to this clinic in the doctor's plaza across the road." This appeared to be a plausible explanation, but the assistant sub inspector was an experienced cop and trained not to take things at their face value. Sudha and Smita did not look like sisters. The former was diminutive and fair complexioned, while the latter stocky and darkish. He walked over to Sudha, who had dropped her school bag and was shivering either out of fright or maybe she was putting up a facade of being really and truly sick. He said kindly, "Don't feel frightened, child. We will soon take you to the doctor. Now, let me check whether you have fever." He touched the forehead of the girl and then her hand and then said softly, more to himself, "No fever." He picked up the school bag to return it to the owner, but was astonished to find it so light. He knew that the bags the kids carry these days were quite heavy, and more suited for a mule's back. He unzipped the bag and found no books or notepads inside, only a change of clothes. On an impulse, he unzipped the other two school bags, also slung on the scooter's handle, and discovered that these two contained no books but only school dresses. This made the coin drop in the slot. He gave a stern look at the girls and hissed, "My dear young ladies, you will now lead me to your school and help me check your story. Miss Geeta, you will ride on your scooter and I will follow you on my patrol jeep with your two friends who will do the talking while we are on the way to your school." The girls meekly followed instructions and the cavalcade started. The assistant sub inspector who was driving the jeep now assumed a kind and persuasive tone and said, "Listen, kids, now I can picture what really happened. I would prefer that you tell the facts in your own words because it will make things much easier for you and let me remain a helping friend of yours." He turned and faced Smita, who had by now lost her nerves. She was thinking hard but was unable to arrive at an escape route which could take them out of the morass they had landed themselves in. Getting no answer, the ASI changed track and addressed the smaller girl. "You okay, Gudia? You had no fever when I checked, and now you are not shivering." He shifted his glance for a moment from the road to see the girl and continued, "Tell me like a good girl that you certainly are. Were you really sick?" Sudha started sobbing. At this point, Smita took command. Finding no better alternative, she told all, even about their earlier exploitations, which were in no way relevant to what happened that day. Meanwhile, they had reached the school and Geeta had parked the scooter at its earlier slot. The assistant sub inspector called her and the police jeep carrying all four entered the school gate. The policeman waved aside the school guards who were trying to restrain the four-wheeler from entering the premises, this being against the rules. The jeep stopped at the administrative building and the ASI asked the girls to lead him to the principal's office. After a short knock, he entered the principal's chamber, followed by the three girls who were all looking miserable and Sudha still sobbing softly. The principal, who was poring over a file, looked up and was visibly annoyed when he saw the crowd marching into his room unannounced. But he was alarmed by the presence of a policeman with three girls in tow, out of whom at least one was a student of his school. The ASI started, "Sir, I am sorry to have entered your chamber without prior appointment, but I had to return these three students of yours who had run away from the school this morning." With this introduction, he told about his encounter with the children earlier in the day and what Smita had told him a few minutes earlier. The principal heard the entire story with a somber face casting an admonishing glance at the students from time to time. After the narrative ended, he asked the girls their names and class details and noted these down in his diary. He instructed them to change over to the school uniform and go to their respective classes, adding that they should ask their guardians to see him in his office the next day at 11 a.m. Then he looked at the name tag pinned on the shirt of the policeman and said, I would like to speak to you a few words, Mr. Diwan. Please take your seat. He resumed after the ASA had taken his seat. It was very nice of you to have brought the girls to me. You could have just booked Geeta for flouting certain traffic rules, and this case would have ended, all within 10 minutes or so. But you chose to make them come to me in your custody. Why? The ASA took a few seconds to arrange his thoughts and spoke haltingly and choosing his words carefully. The girls had done a misdemeanor and should be punished for it, otherwise, they would never reform. But it is clear that their parents or guardians are more at fault, and they too should realize this. The principal could not help interjecting. Just a minute, Mr. Devan. Why do you say that the guardians are also responsible? The ASA replied, the world has undergone a sea change in the last few decades due to great advances in science, TV, internet, smartphones, and fast transport. Present day children are more intelligent, well informed, inquisitive, demanding, and technology savvy than ever before. They want to explore, experience, and learn, and they don't want to be shackled and doubted all the time. At the same time, today's teenagers are highly emotional and could take extreme steps at the spur of the moment for inconsequential reasons. They want to be understood, loved, and cared for by their elders. Parents of this era tend to lead the kids by the nose at every step and have little time for them. This is resented by the youngsters and they find means to break loose whenever they can. I and my wife have two school going children and we have learned these lessons by personal experience, sir. The principal, who was listening attentively, said, I must compliment you for your clear thinking. You seem to be a good teen psychologist. I agree to what you have said. I will only like to add that the youngsters should be, in addition, given the boundary limit of conduct which they should never transgress. Thank you very much, Mr. Devan, for what you have done today. And by the way, if you feel like admitting your kids to my school anytime in future, you are most welcome. With this, the principal shook hands with the ASI and saw him to the door of his chamber. Next day at 11 a.m., the parents of the three girls were informed by the principal of what had happened the previous day, including the attitudinal correction the ASA had advised for the guardians. He informed that he was constrained to take disciplinary action against the delinquent students by rusticating them from the school. To avoid the loss of one school year on their part, he informed that they are being allowed to continue being on the rolls of the school till the end of the current session. With this, he handed over to the parents the post dated transfer certificates of their wards. The strict action taken by the principal against their wards shocked them and they requested him to reconsider his decision. The principal thought for a moment and gave a fleeting smile and said, "Okay," acceding to the parting request of the ASA friend, "I will make a concession. I will reconsider my decision if your wards improve their scholastic performance and do not give another chance of complaint till the end of this academic session. Thanks and goodbye to you all." Thank you for listening. The conscientious cop. Conscientious. Conscientious means wishing to do one's work or duty well and thoroughly. Conscientious means diligent. The glitzy high-class ambience, great variety of wares displayed in captivating show windows, the challenges of the gaming zone and many nooks and corners of the huge complex yet to be explored left them itching for independent perambulation. Perambulation. Perambulation means the act of walking around, surveying or touring. These girls had done a misdemeanor. Misdemeanor. Misdemeanor means a minor wrongdoing. He informed that he was constrained to take disciplinary action. Constrain. Constrain. Constrain means forced to do something against one's will. He is going to rusticate the students from the school. Rusticate. Rusticate. Rusticate means suspend a student from a school or college for a certain period as a punishment. Thank you very much.